Okay, so now we're going to talk a little bit about an interesting topic to me that I always really liked as a kid, and that was the inclined plane. And basically, guys, what an inclined plane basically is it's just a fancy word for a ramp. So it's just going to be a ramp. Now, what makes these so intriguing to me is that you really get to see how breaking force vectors down takes place. So, let's take a look at this diagram. I made it myself. I think it's pretty awesome. So, well, let's look at some of these key points. An object on an inclined plane has a force of gravity that may cause it to slide down it. Well, there's a lot of it's in that sentence. Let's just get rid of this it. Makes it sound kind of stupid. Okay, so we may have a force of gravity that causes an object to slide down a ramp. It may not. We will see sometimes in this class where objects don't slide down a ramp. Now, Fa is the force that pulls the block down the plane. Sometimes Fa is also called F parallel because it's parallel to the ramp or parallel to the plane. And then Fr is equal but opposite to the normal force. So sometimes, guys, Fr is called F perpendicular because it's perpendicular to the surface. Now let's go down and we'll look at this diagram. So as you can see, guys, here's an object on an inclined plane, and as we can see by looking back here, we'll see that this inclined plane has friction. So that's an important thing. It's not a frictionless surface. So this thing may or may not slide. If you don't have friction, it's kind of like an icy hill. You're going to slide down it. But since we have friction, a box might actually sit on this ramp and not even move. It depends on the friction. Now, as we can see, we have our normal force, and our normal force is always perpendicular to the surface of the plane. And this Fa is actually parallel to the surface of the plane, and that was kind of stated up here in the definition of it. But also, once again, Fa is pretty frequently called F parallel, but it's hard to type F parallel because nothing really lets you do that. And once again, down here, Fr is your F perpendicular. And notice, guys, that these two key forces here, Fa and Fr, they are actually components of a sort of your Fg. Let me show you. Let's get a purple line here. I'm going to take this, I'm going to just lay it out over here. And what you'll see is this, is when I get the chance to move it, well, it didn't quite work out in this demonstration, but, because it's not drawn really to scale, but this Fa should in fact fit right in here, and this should make a right triangle. This is, drawn by me, and at the time I really didn't plan on doing this with this, but this should make a right triangle. This should be something like the x component, and this would be something kind of like the y component. If you see kind of what I'm talking about. But it's kind of a little difficult to do that. The calculations are pretty complex, and it involves making some interesting triangles. Now, I'll probably go over in a later video how to make those triangles, but right now let's just worry about doing some sample problems. So let's read about this. Since Fr and Fn cancel each other out, Fnet is determined by Fa and Ff. So guys, this right here, let's get rid of some of these things. Yeah, there we go. Let's do that. This right here, this term, and this term are always going to be equal but opposite. So they cancel each other out, and you're just simply left with your FF and your FA. Now, you may say, well, what about my FG? Well, my FG, once again, I really want to stress this, guys. My FG, I'm going to break into these components. So if I break my FG into its two components, like let's say this, let's make a formula. FG equals FA plus FF. So when I'm sorry, FG equals FA plus FR. I know, sorry, I said FF, it's not FF, it's FR. It's these two terms. Now, when I break it into these components, this term naturally just disappears. It's gone. It's gone. So once this is gone, because I broke it into two components, like if you have a $10 bill and you get change, you get two fives. Here are my two fives. The original 10 is now gone. Well, now I look at what happens after that, and you'll see that your Fn and your Ff are equal but opposite. Your Fn and your Fr. So I keep calling that F. It's not. This is your Fr, or F, perpendicular. And they cancel out, so then you're left with just the FF and your FA. Now, if they are equal, the block just sits there. or slides at a constant velocity. If they're not equal, let's say this value is bigger, it's going to slide down and it's going to accelerate down. This value can never be bigger than that value. So, I mean, if it was, the block would slide up the ramp, and that's impossible. Friction acts in the opposite direction of motion. Let's go back down here. FF of a static object must be overcome to begin motion. That's important, guys. So if you have a stationary object, you have to overcome its static force before it can move. And then last but not least, our FA is the pull of the is the force that pulls the object down the ramp. It's down here. Great. And theta, theta make be taken. I think it's must be taken. Oh my goodness, Mr. Shaw, when did you make this? Must be taken with respect to the x-axis or the horizontal. Jeez. Okay, great. Now, time for some bonuses. So, you want to get some bonus points? Here's how you're going to do it. New semester starting, new marking period starting. Find me. Find the F parallel and F perpendicular, or F A and F R formulas. So what I would just do, Google incline plane, maybe force components, physics, maybe just do physics inclined plane, and you will start to find sites that talk about it, and you should find one site that's going to give you this, another site that's going to give you this. I would recommend starting with a website called the Physics Classroom. You can Google that. Okay, please post one. So if you know this, do this one, find it, and then you're done. You get your bonus point. Only one bonus point per person. One bonus point per person. You get that done, you're done for the night, you got your bonus point. Somebody else can then do this. Then, the other, here we go. Let's look at this. If you want another bonus point, once again, once you get one bonus point per person, can't do any more. Find this. So this has to be done after they find the formulas. A 35 kilogram block sits on a frictionless plane that makes a 22 degree with respect to the ground. I want you to find F parallel and F perpendicular. That's your FA and your FR. So find those. Okay, you can, once the people have posted the formulas, you can do that. It should be pretty easy. Then, here you go. This next one, pause it, write it down, solve for the values, post them underneath this video on the Facebook page. Well, please, one post per person, one bonus point per person. Thank you.